This is where you get to learn about yourself. The cognitive behavioral triangle. I learned this for myself, and now I have a different twist to it, and I want to highlight it and see if you can recognize it for yourself and understand some different aspects to it. So the cognitive behavioral triangle focuses on the relationship between our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. Now, each of these points in the triangles influences the other and vice versa. So what we think affects how we feel, and in turn affects how we act. The twang that I'd like to impart on this, and this is where I'm like, bear with me, I'm going off script right here. The twang that I'd like to highlight and focus is that everyone starts at a different point. So what you think, feel, and act all kind of happen simultaneously. Everyone thinks, everyone feels, everyone acts to an extent. But how you do it, the order in which you do it is different for everyone. And the level of which you do it is different for everyone too. So some people think and cognitively, create that thought about whatever it is. And then they have a feeling. So this is, for me, an example. I think intellectually, and then I create a feeling based on that thought. And then from that feeling decides the action that I choose to have. Now, other people have feelings first. They you ever hear someone say like, oh, I just have this gut feeling. They create this feeling first. Sometimes they could go straight to the thought about like, where is this feeling coming from? How is this connected? Other people have a feeling and then they go directly to an action and they're like, oh, I have this gut feeling. Let me go do something, whatever it is, take this action. Other people have an action. They just do things and then they think about the consequences afterwards. And then those consequences denote feelings of whatever it is that they took action on. And so when you recognize that there's so many different combinations of these thoughts, feelings, and actions, understand that how you do it is not always how someone else does it. And this is where a lot of disconnect comes with in our lives, because we think, oh, if I think this way, everyone thinks this way, right? No. When we have a order of functioning, and that order of functioning puts us in a cycle. So you ever have circle thinking? I know I do. When I just can't stop thinking about something and then I come back to it and I just keep cycling through and thinking and feeling and thinking and feeling, and I get stuck between these two, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling, right? And the way that we can get unstuck from that circle thinking, is by taking an action. Taking any action and any sort of movement or advancement towards whatever it is your goal is, or whatever it is. Honestly, that's why I love jujitsu so much, is because it gets me out of this cycle thinking, because I'm focused on just the movement, the action, when you take an action, yoga, dancing. I love to dance. When you take any kind of action and movement towards your body, sorry, my thing is shaking because I was getting excited. I love dance. When you take any sort of action, it helps break that cycle, and you can more easily shift out of the thinking, because you're going to be using a different part of your brain that will help you break free from it. So I've created a little book. This is something near and dear to me, and it's kind of like, it's exactly what I've been doing for the past three years, probably. And I have little explanations on everything, but I put at the beginning of this journal three pages of this. I designed this worksheet because I want to help you with this. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So this is designed from, the therapy that I've gone through in the past, the lessons that I've taken, I was in intensive outpatient program for a long time. I grew so much from that experience, and I want to kind of use what I've learned to help others through it too. So we have an objective situation. Now, this is the objective experience. You have, no feelings, no thoughts, just what happened. If you were telling someone exactly what happened, writing it down as a sequence of events, this is what you would write. No feelings, no thoughts, no subjectivity, no anything. This is just like the reporter basis. Who, what, when, where, why. No, leave out the why. Who, what, when, where. That's it. You're just doing the who, what, when, where. Then you're going to move into the triangle. I doubled up on the thoughts because I am a thinker. First edition. So you have your thoughts, you have your feelings, and you have your actions. Now we're going to have an original thought about the situation. What do you think actually happened? What were your thoughts? Your why do you think this happened? This is the why. And then we have the feelings. You write down your feelings, all the feels, everything that it made you feel, everything that came up and was like, this is it. Write your feelings down. Then you write down what you chose to do. Every action, I don't know if you remember this from did I write this in my other videos? I'm not sure. It's been a long time. I'll do another video, link it right here, or here. I don't know where it is. I'm learning. Every action has 4 choices. You can either take action, change your thought about it, radically accept it, or you could stay miserable about it. Any action breaks it down into those 4 choices. So you have your action. Next, we can take the reframed thought. This is where I can come in and help you reframe your thinking. We can take it in a number of different ways. This is where NLP techniques come in. This is where, we focus on your strengths, your, the alternate perspectives. We take a look and reframe. What is the thought that you'd want to have? What is the thought that you want to experience through this? Then, in the feelings category, write down, what does this feeling mean to me? What does that tell you about yourself? What does that tell you about your, needs, your wants, your desires? What is this feeling guiding you? Are you trying to distract? Are you angry? Are you, is this a violation of boundaries? Is this against your, values? What is it that it's telling you? And then your action. Is this action good for ecology? Which means, is this action good for yourself? Is this action good for others? And is this action good for the world or your community or whatever it is, like the greater good, the environment, everything? So when we have an original thought, we get to restructure that thought. When we have a feeling, we get to understand what that feeling means to us. And then when we have an action, we get to gauge our action and judge our action based on ecology. Is it good for us? Is it good for others? Is it good for the world? And when we can align ourselves with a positive reframed thought, a positive feeling and emotion through it, and a positive action, the objective experience lessens its control over us, right? There's less of a reaction to it. There's less of a trigger, right? Because we've divulged. Is that a word? Divulged. We've divulged. Let me see if that's a word. Divulged, definitely a word. To make known private or sensitive information. We've divulged this triggering experience in you, right? And when we bring a light to it and shine a light on it, it lessens the trigger. It lessens the triggering response. And so the more you do this, one other point of view that I want to highlight. Which came first? This is where you get to learn about yourself. Which came first? Did you take an action first? Did you have a thought first? Did you feel it first? What came first? And this is where you get to learn about yourself. And like everyone's different. So I get really excited about this because I'm like, this is the new information that I'm like picking apart in my brain and understanding more about. But yes, so we get to explain and understand and, learn about ourselves. And this is how we lessen the triggering experiences in our lives, right? This is how we lessen those experiences. So the more you strengthen it, the more you use it, the easier it gets to be. So the thing about the CBT triangle is that it doesn't address the root behind our thoughts. This is where I would come in. This is where NLP would come in. This is where therapy is a big one. Talk to your therapist, talk to your psychiatrist, talk to, whoever you work with on these things and get to the root of the thought, get to the root of the feeling, get to the root of the action, and understand that they're impacted by everything around us and vice versa. And so our thoughts are a culmination of everything that we absorb on a daily basis and everything that crosses our mind, whether consciously or subconsciously. And so maybe you have a story of your own that you'd like to work on this with. I'll put this on a link somewhere down here. I'm gonna let you guys have this worksheet. Donations would be wonderful if you'd like, if you find it helpful. But I want to make sure that you guys have this and can use it. So start by so maybe start easy, start simple, start small, and then change the narrative. Change one story at a time and see what happens, see where it goes. I believe in you. I hope it helps. I send you love and light and blessings. And mwah.